Welcome
Oh, okay.
to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast where we are traveling overseas. And by we, I mean me, Appa, my co-host / co-founder Vincent. We dive into the streaming service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. And Vincent, we're traveling today because we're doing 2023's very own plane. We're here. We jumped right out of exploitation, and when we jumped, we needed a parachute because we jumped out of plane.
And the plane was going down.
The plane was going down,
All right, tell them the budget in the box office.
Dude, I've been excited for this movie ever since I saw the trailer, and I'll get into that in a little bit.
All right.
So let me give you some facts before we get into 2023's very own plane.
Get into some facts, because I got something to say straight out the gate. But you got to give me some facts first.
So it's got the 6.5 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got the 78% on the Rotten Tomatoes. This made a budget. It had a budget, of 25 million, and it made 52.2 million.
Did it go to cinemas?
It went to theaters, man, because this was seen worldwide, including Russia. I have the exact facts in different states and territories.
Jeez.
If you want me to get that deep, I found where I can get that deep.
Unless you can get rentals, then I don't really want.
I mean, you could get rentals, but this made $205,000 in Colombia. Let me give you the synopsis. We'll jump right into this movie. And from just the way that Vince has walked into this studio, it could be a short podcast.
Could be in and out.
A pilot finds himself caught up in a war zone after he's forced to land his commercial aircraft during a terrible storm. And we're here. We're here, Vincent. So
Brother,
tell me what you want.
I'm going to tell you straight out the gate. I'm going to tell the listener. I'm going to tell the viewer. The viewer's going to look dead in my eye sockets. I'm telling you right now, this movie has no right being as good as it is.
I was not expecting you to go that way.
Brother, this movie was unreal. I can't believe how good this movie was.
You're not being facetious for the people.
I'm not being facetious for the people.
We do truthful things. We don't exaggerate on this podcast.
Brother, I'm an honest man.
I know you're honest.
I only speak the truth.
You do.
And if I tell a lie, I'll follow it up with a joke straight away.
So then people know that.
So then people know.
That's right.
I'm telling you, this movie, I mean, look, you told me we're doing plane.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for trains and automobiles, but we started off with plane. And I see Gerard Butler and I see Luke Cage. I don't know what the actor's name is.
I'll get the actor's name up, but he's also from a TV show called Evil, which I quite enjoyed.
Evil.
Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter.
Coulter.
Yeah, I did like him he was Luke Cage, wasn't he?
He was Luke Cage.
Yeah.
In season 1 and 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen season 2, but season 1, I enjoyed him in Luke Cage.
That was decent.
And it's got those two, and it just looks like generic action movie, like number 451.
The plane looks like, not even the plane.
Even the plane. Terrible title. For an absolutely shocking title for a movie.
Can I tell you that I've got facts on the title?
Okay, that's exciting. So you tell me the facts after this. It starts off, I'll be home for New Year's. Pretend that's a Scottish accent, like haggis and whatnot, just pretend. Oh, Dad, you've got 6 hours and whatever, 8 hours here, and then you got to go to Tokyo, and then you got to go here. Don't worry, they're 18 hours behind. I'm Gerard Butler. I'll get there before New Year's. And I'm thinking, all right, it's one of these.
He's not getting there before New Year's.
He's not getting there before New Year's.
Look, the first part of this movie especially, but we could put the whole movie into this pocket, is they looked at the book of how to make a movie.
Yeah.
And at the book of how to make a movie, in the introduction, it says, what you got to do is you have to introduce everything and everyone. You
have to show all the characters and why they have to make it home.
Yeah. You need exposition.
You need to show them that their family's there. You need to have FaceTime because it's 2023. So, for the past 6 to 8 years, it's had to be FaceTime. And then you gotta just shake things up and, they're not coming home and they got family.
I mean, within 2 minutes of this movie starting, we had Gerard Butler's number. Yeah. We had his number. And then 5 minutes in, when he starts talking to his co-pilot, you got he's not only his home phone, but you got the mobile phone as well. You got both numbers. Because he starts going from, hey, daughter, I'm gonna meet you, you live in Hawaii, I live in Singapore. I think he lives in Singapore.
Yeah, he's based out of Singapore.
And then we don't see each other, but I'm going to see you. And then I'm going to tell my co-pilot, hey, listen, I like haggis. I'm Scottish, but also my wife's dead. And like I choked some dude out on a plane.
He didn't say that straight out. He didn't say that. That was something we learned in subsequent scenes.
But it's all exposition to just get you started. It's all exposition.
And then Mike Coulter, did you say Mike Coulter?
Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter comes in, hey, we found this prisoner. We found him in Bali. He's coming with you.
Yeah.
And you're going like, they've set it up. They've absolutely set everything up. They've put everything on the board. They've gone, hey, this is the movie. Like this is the start of the movie.
Yeah. And
then you're in a movie. And as soon as Mike Coulter comes, I'm like, this dude, there's no way this dude is because I thought this was just going to be like a plane hijacking situation.
I mean, if you don't know this movie.
I didn't even look at the synopsis. I looked at I pressed play.
Yeah.
I sent you the screenshot. Hey, is this the right movie? Because, I mean, you look up a movie just called Plane, you don't know what you're going to get.
Dude, you search up plane.
Yeah.
You get me Google images like pictures of planes.
That's right.
Unfortunately, that's what you're getting.
And that's what I'm getting. And I was just looking at planes. I'm like, this doesn't look like a movie. I'm putting these all together there.
Yeah. But yes, you see Mike Coulter in there. You don't know what's going to happen. You even get exposition of every single character on the plane.
Yeah.
Like the one business dude, he's on the phone when he's like, getting in there. He's the asshole.
Yeah. You got to make, I got to do business. Boys, we got to do business. And then you got the two people that are like, oh, this plane's old as hell.
Yeah. Who are definitely scared of something. Then you got the two ladies they've been on vacation.
Yeah.
They're vacating. They're on fleek. They're getting their photos done, all those sorts of things. And then you got like the two guys who are mates, and one's in business class, the other man's in.
And that's hilarious,
And neither of them communicated that like where they were going to be sitting.
No.
On this very empty plane.
On this very empty plane, they don't go like, hey, this is my boarding ticket. Where are you sitting?
Yeah.
It was also like a 6-7 hour flight. Surely they want to sit in the vicinity.
Yeah. Because like 6-7 hours, like it's not that long, but it's still long enough that you're like, if my mate's here, like at least 3 of these hours are going to go down pretty easy.
Yeah, at least when he falls asleep, I can take hilarious selfies of me and him and just like pointing to like almost his nose, but like it's the perspective.
Yeah, that's right. And like perspective and exposition is what this movie gives you to start off with.
But straight out the gate, when Mike Coulter rocks up, I'm going, there's no way this dude is the guy that's going to be hijacking the plane. And I'm looking around, I'm looking at the other passengers. I'm like, which one's going to be? Well, I'm looking at him, I'm pointing. Which one's going to be?
Yeah.
And brother, did this movie shake things up? Did this movie shake things up? My goodness.
Dude, they go through storms, they lose communications. They're like, we got to land somewhere that is not the water.
I also love how Gerard Butler, whatever his name was, something Torrance. And we're not talking Rivers. And I'm not a pilot, but I've flown on planes.
Yes.
I reckon I'll be in double-digit planes. Not once have I ever seen a pilot come out of the cabin and be like, hey guys, hey, how's it going? Hey, we're just having a bit of turbulence. Like, hey, brother, I know you're doing business, but put your seatbelt on.
I know. And there is trivia and goofs on IMDb, and one of the goofs of this is that in the post 9/11 era, the pilot's door is always locked. They don't come out.
That's what I mean. They don't come out. I've never seen a pilot in my life. I don't even know if they exist. All right, I've only seen them in movies, and people keep saying the planes just fly themselves.
That's right.
To my knowledge, they might as well do because they just say, "Hey, this is the captain speaking." We can get Wi-Fi on planes. I'm sure it's some dude on the ground being like, "Hey, it's your captain." Bro, they think it's a captain. Hey, it's your captain speaking. Oh, bro, the weather out here is beautiful. Like, you guys get comfy. There's going to be drinks coming around.
Yeah, dude.
This dude's like sipping on scotch. Like, I don't even know I'm on the ground.
I don't even think turbulence exists. I think like halfway through the flight, they just start shaking the plane. They're like, what do you reckon they're thinking back there?
Yeah. Hey, mate, watch this. Press the button, turbulence. Oh, I can hear someone yell. Jeez.
Pilots could not exist. And like some people think birds don't exist, but we might have the next big thing that pilots actually don't exist.
Yeah, and in this AI world, you just don't know anymore.
You don't know, man. And I don't know about you, but I haven't met a pilot.
I haven't met a pilot.
And I've been everywhere, man. You know the song I've Been Everywhere, man?
Yeah, that's you.
That's me.
Jeez.
And not once have I seen a pilot. You see them dudes walking around in the suits. Where they going?
You only see them on the ground.
You never see them in the plane.
I'm going to see a pilot with his feet above the ground.
That's exactly right.
And I'm not talking like he's jumping. Above sea level.
Here's the thing about this movie. It does it does do a whole lot of exposition. They land on this island, and then from then on, it just, well, I mean, even while the plane is going down, like one lady just snaps her neck on a seat, and another dude like hits the roof of the plane so hard that he just deteriorates into just blood and bones.
Which is, I mean, look, I don't know anatomy. They're two things that I don't know. I don't know pilots. I don't know anatomy.
That's true.
That didn't look like something that, I mean, but it could.
I mean, you get hit in the wrong spot. Like if I know anatomy, and that's something that I know, much like I know like every place in this world because I've been there.
Yeah.
If I know anatomy, you get hit in the wrong spot. Like even if you got tapped there, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but there was no sound effects.
If
the lady that broke her neck, you heard the sound effects. You were like, well, there's sound effects. Like I heard it.
She's dead.
This dude just hit the top, and I mean, he went for his phone. That's dumb idiot thing.
But this is 2023.
But also, he's there escorting a prisoner. Yeah. You know, just.
Well, maybe on his phone he had like selfies with the prisoner, and they said, "Hey, listen, brother, we can't have you doing any selfies with the prisoner."
Jeez, because if he falls asleep and you can get like the perspective of your finger almost in his nose.
Because like what happens, you know, if a prisoner falls asleep and like at that point you got 7 hours of the prisoner, right? You got 7 hours next to the prisoner. Prisoner falls asleep, and he goes back, mouth open, right? Because you know some people can't breathe through their nose like me. You're taking photos. You got to take photos. And if I'm that dude right there, I know that there's a level of there's some sort of ethical level of trust that this person has with this prisoner. He can't be doing that and then showing his superiors. So he's probably thinking, I've lost my phone. My superiors are going to see this. This is it for me.
Yeah,
I'm cancelled. It's 2023. I'm cancelled.
But the thing is, if he's got an iPhone, if your iPhone's got iCloud activation lock, brother, you never get into that phone. I'll tell you that much.
That's true. That's true. The movie then sort of goes into like they land on this island. They don't know really what the island is. Turns out to be a space in which just everyone is just wanting to kill everyone. Yeah,
it's just, hey, anyone that lands on this island, they're our property, and we're just going to possibly just kill a bunch of them to, I don't know, assert our status in this island, and like the rest of them we're going to extort.
Yeah, we're gonna send videos saying, hey, we need this amount of money now, or this person's getting shot live on air.
See, it's wild to me that they called the movie Plane. They were in the plane for like 20 minutes.
That's true.
And then they're out of the plane.
I mean, the plane's sitting there, but it ain't really a part of a big focus of the movie.
No.
One of the things that I was thinking throughout this, especially when there's a part where you see the video camera that they use to film people that they're extorting. I'm thinking, what sort of numbers these guys getting? Like, are they getting back catalog numbers, or are they getting like, Joe Rogan numbers?
What, on the videos?
Like on the videos that they share to people.
Well, I don't think that they'd be uploading them to YouTube like we do.
But there's surely some like dark web YouTube, which is like dark tube, right? And you go on there and it's just like all the dark web videos. And I mean, Twitter is that pretty much. You could upload one of those videos to Twitter, show a man like getting his brains blown out, and everyone will be like, well, I'll just scroll to the next AI TikTok trend.
Yeah, geez, Twitter's the damn Wild West these days.
Twitter is like Plane.
Twitter is like Plane. And if you want to hear about more about how Twitter is more like Plane, then sign up to our Patreon, 7 days free trial. Because, I mean, you talk about Twitter all the time.
And I've got some stuff to talk about on Twitter today. One of the things that I loved about this movie is Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter. They go out and they try to just find some communications that they can get to the world out there and tell them where they have landed, or the general vicinity.
You know, the other thing about pilots, I never heard one crack a joke.
I heard them crack jokes, man.
Really? I was going to say, because Gerard Butler, he's just in there.
Actually, sorry.
He's got his like 15-minute routine.
He does. I apologise, and look, I'm a person that wouldn't lie to you, but I did lie to you then. I haven't heard the pilot crack the joke. I've heard the flight attendant.
Yeah, no, see, that didn't count.
Because they'll do that.
Because you can see them.
You can see them, and you know they're real.
That's right.
And they're, you can see they're not working off a script, because that's just off the dome what they're doing.
That's off the dome. They got the phone, and that's off the dome.
Gerard Butler goes to this building in the middle of the jungle, and he's found a phone. He's called back to some people. Some people don't believe him. He's able to call back to his daughter. His daughter's like, hey, we need to get services out to these people to get them off this island. Then this fight scene happens between Gerard Butler, a 60, maybe 50-something-year-old man who doesn't look like he'd been working out lately.
But he has choked out someone on a plane.
And he has done like some Brazilian jiu-jitsu on a plane. And he goes up against this dude. And one of the things was when this fight scene started, I was like, man, this fight scene doesn't really there's not too much going on in it. But then I realized this is just like an unbroken 3-minute fight scene.
That's one of the things that was fantastic. That fight scene was unbelievable because it didn't feel like, hey, I'm Jared Butler. I choked a dude out on a plane. I now know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You think I've been flying the plane? I've just been looking at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tutorials to hone my craft. It was just them kind of grabbing each other and trying to, just overcome
and hopefully get a weapon to then kill the person.
Oh,
I mean, you say that like it's just like heads trying to overcome, but then Gerard Butler snaps his neck with one arm.
Yeah, but he was choking him out for 30 seconds.
Yeah, but you know what? If I got you in that chokehold the way that Gerard Butler got it, there ain't no leverage there to be snapping necks or choking out people.
Yeah, but he'd been watching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
If he's been watching the art of the one-handed neck snap.
He's just watching Thor: The Dark World on repeat. That's all he's watching.
But yeah, that fight scene, dude, I was like, at the start, I was like, I don't know about this. And then it just kept going. I was like, actually, this is quite a fun fight scene. Then Mike Coulter comes in, he starts shooting people. And then this movie goes from being one that I thought, there's been a couple neck snaps, but how gruesome, bloody is it going to get? Dudes getting their heads blown off, people getting holes put through them. It became...
This was a wild movie. And
It was fun. I mean, this is not a good movie in the sense of it's not going to win any awards. But for a fun romp for an hour and 45 minutes.
It was tense. I was sitting there, my heart was racing the whole time because you didn't know what was going on.
I mean, my heart wasn't racing. I'll tell you one of the reasons why my heart wasn't racing. This became a big meme on Twitter. Plain. And one of the reasons it became a big meme on Twitter was because you watch this trailer, everyone sent out the trailer and said, you won't believe what this movie is called because the trailer ends with the title of the movie. So it literally shows everything in this trailer. It's like a 2-minute trailer. There's trailers that go through pretty much all the, it'll show the plane crashing on the island. It will show, Mike Coulter in cuffs, then he's not in cuffs. And then it will show Navy SEALs coming to save or, operatives coming to save Gerard Butler and the crew. It shows all of that. And you're thinking whoa, dude, this is crazy. There's action, there's people getting shot, there's necks being snapped, all sorts of crazy stuff. What is this movie going to be called? Maybe it's going to be called 3 days in the, in the
jungle with Gerard and Mike.
Yeah. And then it just says plane.
Hilarious. I mean, that is hilarious. Because it is objectively a terrible name for this movie.
And Gerard Butler, this is the trivia, fought for this name. The only reason that this name exists in this movie is because Gerard Butler says, I'm not doing this unless it's called Plane. And that could be a Scottish accent.
But see, the thing is, this has probably got more hits because it was called Plane.
Because it's called Plane.
I mean, you make a meme, you make a movie, you make money.
That's exactly right. The movie benefits from not taking itself... No, sorry. It benefits from taking itself as seriously as it does with the title that it has. Because this movie is there's jokes and things going throughout it. But this movie is simply men going into a jungle and shooting other men.
That's it. There's not even that many jokes.
There's no quips, nothing.
Actually, no. The funniest one was they get in the bus. The people this is moving around. The people get kidnapped. And Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter, they're out in the jungle. They're doing jungle things.
They have to save these people.
They got to save these people. And they go to this camp in the Philippines. It's where it is on the Jawa region. I can't remember the name. But it's somewhere in the Philippines, some island in the Philippines. And it's, overtaken by mercenaries and whatnot. And, specifically the whatnot, that's the dangerous part. And they get locked up in this village. Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter, they come in here. They take them out. They snap some necks. They shoot some dudes. Gerard Butler's physically not well because he's had to kill 2 people.
Yeah,
which I enjoy. Not often do you see that in movies, but you could see that. They didn't do it oh my goodness, what is he didn't go because also he's got adrenaline. He's got to survive.
He didn't just go and say after this I'm just going to make peace with these people and put my hands up and say, hey, listen. I killed those 2 people, but I won't kill you guys. Just let me
that's
outside.
right. Because this whole movie, he was in flight.
Yeah.
Then he was in fight.
That's right.
And then he was in freeze for a bit.
But then
and then
he
he was
went
in
back-
flight again.
he has to go-
and then he went back to flight.
He had to go back to flight.
And that's the circle of life.
Yeah.
Flight, fight, freeze, fight, flight.
Now, don't forget, we got to talk about just the end, like the final flight scene.
Yeah,
of this
but
movie
anyway,
before we get,
I'm going to
those-
tell you
what
about
a-
the funniest part of this movie. All right, and it's not the name. That's a spoiler. When they get all the people out of the cage, and they get them on the bus, and Jared Butler's doing whatever he's doing.
He's on
He's on
Captain
freeze.
Things.
He's on freeze.
Yeah.
And the dude, there's just one dude who's driving the bus, and Jared Butler turns to him and he goes, do you know how to drive this thing? And he goes, I can drive anything.
I mean, for me,
that's hilarious.
I didn't laugh at that 1 second.
It's hilarious because it's just dumb.
Like, if you tickled me, I wouldn't have laughed at that.
You wouldn't have laughed at me tickling you?
In both, because like that joke fell flat.
What? No,
If it
that's
was
what I
meant to be
mean.
a joke.
It was hilarious. It was so bad because there wasn't actually any yippee-ki-yay kind of one-liners,
Yeah.
which you would expect from them because they set up the movie correctly.
I'm surprised that they didn't exposit this man being like, oh, dude, I just came from like 6 hours of like driving multiple things in a row. And it was like, 1 hour of this thing, then 1 hour of that thing. Then I was in the tank and now I'm on a motorcycle.
Yeah, so I can drive everything.
So I can drive everything.
Like you name something, I've driven it.
Like if Jared Butler said to him, like, we can drive this bloody plane out of here.
Yeah.
Like if he told him, like, get on the plane and you drive.
It would have been, all right, no worries.
Hey, dude, I'll do it. The movie, so Vincent just told you like the parts where, Gerard Butler, Mike Coulter, they're in the jungle. The crew get kidnapped. Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter have to go save them. Then the movie just like it's just this weird middle part where things happening, but it's almost like, hey, we're already here. We're already at the back end of this movie.
Yeah, the back end of this movie was probably about 3/4 of the movie.
It was about 3/4, but it was also like I didn't realize that we were there yet.
Yeah.
Like the Navy SEALs, operatives, wherever they are, they're like some paid mercenaries rock
Yeah.
up. They
'Cause
start shooting people.
The company, the flight company,
the
Trailblazer,
the airline.
the airline, they're in crisis management because they've lost this plane. And they reference Malaysia Flight 370 or 317 or whatever it was. And they're going, we need to get on top of this. They've brought in this like Scarsdale Mans. He's there trying to... I liked him he was a good character. He was a good character. He was there. He was doing damage control. He's like, hey, I'll make some calls. You make some calls. We got to get on top of this. Lawyers, like, do law and, like, get us out of this because, like, we got to sell tickets after this.
And, like, Gerard Butler has his number out there because he's been expositing to everyone. So I'm surprised they didn't just call him direct.
I mean, they should have.
They should have. But, again, we're in the Philippines. Like, I don't know what sort of... cell reception they got it there. This movie was also banned in the Philippines. Because, like, the Philippines, like, government was like, you're just making us look like you rock up on an island
was
and, like,
thinking about that.
you'll just die.
I was thinking about that. Can they... I mean, they can obviously do it because they've done it.
Plain is that easy. It exists.
It exists. But I was thinking about, they've just made this whole area of the Philippines, which I don't know about that area of the Philippines. I don't know if it's, paradise or if it's what it's portrayed in this movie.
Yeah.
I doubt it's either of those things.
You could go there and it's just Jollibee out the wazoo.
It's just Jollibee, man.
Which I think is from the Philippines.
I don't even know what a Jollibee is. I know it from a Childish Gambino song. That's about it.
If we're talking fast food, Jollibee is up there as one of the greatest that's ever done it.
I've never done it.
Yeah, no one here has done it. That's the thing. You got to be elsewhere to do it. And because I've been everywhere, I've done it.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm trying to get at.
All right, okay.
But this movie sort of, there's fantastic, just people getting shot by snipers and all sorts of stuff towards the end of this movie.
That
people
was
getting
wild.
shot up. People like through cars, people just getting blasted, like heads popping off, all sorts of stuff. The big bad of this movie gets hit by the wheel.
Oh, yeah. While he's trying to shoot it with an RPG.
He gets hit by the wheel of a plane while he's trying to shoot it with an RPG. And if that doesn't wrap up what this movie means to people who watch it, like nothing else will. If you want to see a man get hit by the wheel of a plane as it's coming down, he's got an RPG in his hand, he's yelling. And his head just gets like, just kicked like a soccer ball. And by Messi, and he like scores a goal and, wins it for Miami.
It's the 94th minute.
I can't help you beyond that. This movie was good fun. The funny bit is as well, they escape this island.
Yeah, and they go to one like 50 meters down the road.
They fly like over like a real small bit of ocean.
Yeah.
And like,
They could, if they had just gone, all right, we're just going to start swimming, they would have got there before all of this stuff had happened.
that's right.
If one person on the plane started swimming in that direction, and because they knew where they were, they had them. No, they did. He had the iPad.
Yeah.
That was a bit later down the track though. But if they knew, and one man started swimming, he would have been there. He would have been in paradise. He would have been sipping coconuts on the beach. He would have seen this plane. Oh, but hey guys, hey. It's like 3 days later. They're shot, like people were dead.
Yeah.
It's going like, you're looking a bit light on the passengers here, brother.
It's because that plane wasn't full. And one of the things that I loved about this movie is you're exactly right, Vincent. Like, they could have taken the easy route out of there, but they didn't.
They didn't.
They took the crazy route. They could have been sitting on pina coladas, but instead they did something that was either positive or negative for like the Philippines tourism. Is they showed like, hey, look, if you want to go one place, you might get shot by a sniper, but look over this side, you got coconuts that you can sip on.
It's just the Russian roulette of. It's like the Filipino roulette. You know, you pick an island, you might get shot.
Who knows? Based on this movie, and this is just based on plane. Now.
That's right, plane,
This is just based on plane.
and not plane that you find on Google Images. We're talking about plane the movie.
I want to know right here, right now, what you rated this movie, because it seems like you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed this movie because it was a bit of a thriller.
I mean, it was a thriller. And
I was thrilled.
Is Manila in the Philippines? I don't think so. But if it was, this would be the thriller Manila.
Pretty sure Manila is in the Philippines.
I mean, Gerard set this up so we could knock it down, is what I'm saying. So, Gerard, if you want to come on the show, we've had Sean Kemp on the show. You can come on.
You can come
Patreon, whatever you want to do, brother. We'll do it with you.
I reckon this is a 7. I reckon this is, it's not fair. I think, honestly, the thing that I thought it could have done better was not having as much of the main bad guy, looking at his mate that they've just shot in the head, and he's like, oh, Steve. His name wasn't Steve, but effective for
Effective immediately, his name is Steve.
That's right. He's like, oh, Steve. Oh, and he puts his head to his head.
Yeah.
And you're going, okay, that's fine. This guy doesn't need to be anything more than, hey, I'm a bad dude. I'm doing bad things.
Yeah, you just wanted it to be a straight up action flick down the center.
That's right. You didn't need Gerard Butler having a 4.5 minute FaceTime call with his daughter. You just needed to have the small setup and not the whole hey. You didn't actually need to have the daughter in the movie at all, other than at the start and when he was talking to her. Hey, get me out of here.
I mean, for the most part, really. Although the daughter was in other scenes, you're in the jungle. Your mind's still in the jungle.
She's hardly in it. But I'm just saying it didn't even need any of it really.
No. I think, the expositing made me laugh because it was like, this is a movie. This is how we make a movie. I'm going to also give this a 6.9, maybe a 7. I'll give it a 7. I'll bump it up. Like, we round up here. Because we're here for the people and we round up. And, this is one of those things. And this is sort of like what I always say, like I always say.
Yeah.
That was Plane. And there's been the back catalogue.
Talk soon.